Raul and Sam, this video is made especially for you. I'm going to try to explain what I have discussed with you on Facebook and try to make it as simple and as clear as possible. Now, what I want to start is from what we know already to move to the things that we don't know but we are trying to find out. Like you, I am also looking for the truth. So, what I want to present here is a manner which I try to explain why the black holes do not exist. What I want to do is to use Newton mechanics locally, and only if it doesn't fit, use Einstein's relativity. Now, this is somehow important from my point of view. Einstein and Newton are somehow like Moses and Jesus. Jesus came with new things, but this doesn't cancel Moses' theory. So I'm going to try to use Newton mechanics and think if this works locally, we don't need Einstein's relativity. Let's try that. So we have to start from what we know. And looking at our planet spinning from this side to this side, in this direction, I see there is a distribution of forces. And it seems to me there is a force put in this direction and one in this direction. This means the diameter here is slightly bigger than here. Now I want you to do a mental effort. Let's say by magic I have the power to spin the planet faster, really faster, and the speed is way much higher. What would happen? This force will be much higher, and the centrifugal force will make the planet like this, and we have this strange shape. Now if I go further, eventually I will have a ring and I will lose mass in these directions at a very high speed. If I increase the speed even at a very high value, there will be no planet at all. Everything will move out into space. All the particles of the planet and the planet will disappear. Now let's do something strange. Let's play the movie backwards in the other direction. Let's say I have the capacity to put the force in this direction and this in this direction. What would happen? If I increase the speed, I will have the opposite reaction, which means the planet would go upward in this direction and this diameter is going to be smaller. If I go further away in this direction at a very high speed, what I will see is a single point and I will lose mass in all directions here, or that's only on the vertical. Now, I have seen this before, and this strange movement happens here at the center of the galaxies. Now, every once in a while this happens for a reason which is not clear for us, but the mechanism is somehow the same. So if I can explain this locally, if I go to the center of the galaxy, I should be able to explain it based on the same principle. Now here, there is no concentrated mass. I have nothing. I have just the remains of the planet being shot out. What it puzzles me that here, if I have the same mechanism, what I need is an environment when time travels from the future to the past. And that is something very strange and very unbelievable. But once again, I speak what I see. At the normal situation where we live, time travels from the past to the future. But here, it seems that time travels from the future to the past. That is something very strange. Now, in order to have this working, we need to move to the quantum level, somewhere very low, because it seems that Newton mechanics doesn't help us in this case. Now, with Newton mechanics, I should write this down somewhere, because I think you know this. If I have 0 and 1, at quantum level, I go to 0 and 1 in the same time, which is a quantum computer. And I can do this because there is no time. At our level, if I go to 0 and 1, I go to 0 once, then I go to 1, then I go to 0, then I go to 1, with the fastest speed available, which is the speed of light. I can do this, but the computer will not be that fast. This is beyond anything. This doesn't have a limit. Now here, time is 1 second every second. Here, time is absent. And think of it, if I have an environment where there is no time, that is exactly what I need in order to have this being shot out from center of some galaxies. Why would this environment be surrounded by mass? Now this leads me to a very strange conclusion. It seems to me that we have two zones in this universe. One zone is where we have concentrated things, another one where we have distributed things. If you want two areas in universe, they are in some, if you want to call it a mirror, they look at each other. Now, if I have, let's say, the sun and a black hole, the sun concentrated gravity on its own because it's made of mass. The black hole cannot be made of mass. Also, the weight is way much bigger than the sun. What I do not understand is why this concentrated mass shoots out dark matter. Because we know dark matter is in connection with this black hole. What is dark matter? My understanding is that dark matter is somehow distributed gravity generated by this. But if it is distributed gravity, it cannot be generated by concentrated mass. This is not a star, it's something that we have never seen. In fact, if we know that beyond the event horizon, until the center of the singularity, there is no mass there, I have to question, where is the mass? Where is the mass of all this black hole? It is there. My understanding, there is nothing there. There could be a singularity in the middle, although we have never seen it. What we see, and the only element that we can actually see, it's a distributed gravity across the universe. Why is this important? Because at quantum level, there is no time, distributed gravity doesn't lose power. So when I move from the center of the black hole, we say, I move away in the galaxy, the speed remains the same, which means the power remains the same. If I move away from here, from the center of the sun, if I move away, I lose gravity, because gravity is concentrated. And gravity at this level travels to an environment where there is time. But here, if dark matter travels to an environment where there is no time, eventually it doesn't lose power. Of course, there is a limit. Otherwise, we would have one galaxy across the entire universe. But we don't have that. So there must be a limit somewhere. My understanding is that here in the center, whatever it is, it fits rather with radiation and not with mass, because it is an object in reverse. It is a reverse sphere. It's a difficult concept, but this is what I see. This is how I understand it is. In conclusion, what I think is what we have here in our universe, we have two things. This side and the other side. If you want this space and the subspace beneath it. At our level, time travels from the past to the future. At subatomic level, at quantum level, there is no time. And this is something that we know already. If I apply the same mechanism, and everything is in mirror, if I have something white here, it must be black on the other side. If I have a line here, it must be curved on the other side. If there is a curve here, it must be a line on the other side. Now, getting to mass, if I have concentrated mass, it sounds to me it should be not anti-mass. It's a misunderstanding. It should be something first distributed, and my guess is it's radiation because of this formula. Somehow mass and radiation are mirrored. Gravity concentrated should be on the other side, gravity distributed, which is dark matter if you want. this is how I see it. And this gravity, which is unlimited amount of power, travels at subatomic level through an environment where, once again, I have to say, there is no time. Why scientists want to get this power? Because if you get this power and the power is infinite, you have an infinite amount of energy. How exactly can we do that really is beyond me. The last thing, which leads me to the conclusion there are no black holes, is what I need in order for this thing to work. If I have a sphere, which is a sun, concentrated gravity, here I need a reverse sphere to have distributed gravity. And reverse sphere cannot be made of mass. It must be made from radiation. This is how I see it. And this leads me to the conclusion that this black hole exactly has a total amount of mass equal to 0, and there could be something like a singularity or a portal or a wormhole in the middle here, although I'm not sure about this, something that cannot be detected, we cannot see, that triggers distributed gravity across the galaxy. This is how I see it, and what I want you to do, I'm not looking for peer or something like this, I want you to prove that this is not according to what we know, and I want you to hit it. I'm looking for the battle here, I'm ready for battle. I want you to prove that I am wrong, and you should come with a better theory, but not with assumptions. Once again, I speak what I see, and if I see jets coming out from the center of some galaxies, there must be an explanation here based on the laws that we already know. I don't want to invent something else. We should be able to explain this based on what we know already. And this is what I'm looking for. The way I can see this is only at subatomic level, at quantum level, there is an environment which can trigger this distribution of light and mass into the universe. Where does that come from, and how come we have these jets? We are going to discuss this some other time. And also we are going to discuss about this sphere and reverse sphere, and how come we have them and how do they behave. I hope I have made this very simple and clear. If you don't understand something, write to me and I will try to explain it. Thank you for watching.